Hey there guys, Kate here, and today we're gonna be talking about a Roblox item that only 3 people own. Yeah, that makes it extremely rare, and I'm gonna get into why 3 people own this Roblox item, the history of this Roblox item, and this Roblox item, the tough guy cap. So I'm gonna get into why only 3 people own this, why it's so rare because it barely has any copies left, and its history basically. So yeah, but before that, like and subscribe if you have ever worn a hat before, and I guess I would appreciate it as well. So alright, let's get into it. So let's look at the history of the tough guy cap. So if you look at this item today, this is a relatively more unknown limited, and as you can see, it has a recent average price of 1.3 million Robux. So this item was released on December 13th, 2012, and it could have been purchased for 1500 Robux with a stock of 25. Yes, 25. That is extremely low. So you can imagine, since this was released more than 13 years ago, yeah, the copies of it are gonna get deleted. But as I said, only 3 people own this. That means like 90% of the copies for this item that still remain are like hoarded. So actually this item's history, if you look at it, so this is the item on December 31st, 2012, and as you can see here, as I said, 25 sold and 9 people are reselling it, and it has a recent average price of 2700 Robux. And here is all of these people that own it at this point, and it only has 73 favorites at this point, so yeah, it was relatively unknown. And here it is on February 26th, 2013, as you can see, someone is trying to resell it for, I think that's 50 billion Robux. Yeah, that is 500 billion Robux. So yeah, it still has a recent average price of 28,000 Robux. And it still only has 96 favorites. So yeah, this is relatively unknown. But now there's only 5 people reselling it. And then here it is on July 13th, 2013. It now has a recent average price of 35,000 Robux. And then here it is on September 9th, 2014. It has a recent average price of 65,000 Robux. So here it is on February 21st, 2015. It still has a recent average price of 67,000 Robux. And then here it is on February 5th, 2017. As you can see, well, it has an average price of 91,000 Robux. But now there's only 1 person reselling it. And it's actually the first copy of this item. So yeah. And as you can see here, it still only had 277 favorites, so this was actually a very unknown limited for a long time. And then here it is on January 22nd, 2018, and it hasn't loaded in, it's never gonna load in, so we are not gonna know who was reselling it and what the recent average price was. And then here it is on July 3rd, 2019, but someone was reselling it for 10 million Robux. And then here it is on May 30th, 2020. Someone was reselling it for 4.6 million Robux. And then here it is on January 8th, 2021, and someone was reselling it for 1.5 million Robux. And then fast forward to later on. So as you can see here, and here in 2021 it sold for 850,000. Then here it sold for 6.9 million Robux in 2023, and recently it sold for 4.5 million Robux. And now, on to the owners, since only 3 people own this. As you can see, Rolemon says 3 people own it as well, and 85% of the copies for this item are hoarded. Now apparently it only has 7 available copies, but I'm gonna get back to that as well. So here are the owners: Roblox, but Roblox doesn't count. So 1, 2, 3, Link199, Earl Grey, and Son of Sevenless. Well, actually Earl Grey and Son of Sevenless are both alt accounts of Shedletsky, so it's really only 2 people that own this, because Earl Grey and Son of Sevenless are the same people, so only 2. But then Roblox wiki says this guy Arcade Rockstar owns another 8 of these, but you know, his inventory is private. I don't know about that, but if that is true, only 3 people own this, and that would mean there are about 15 copies of this item. But yeah, that's all about it for this rare item for this video. That's gonna do it for today's video. So yeah, let me know down below what you think. Make sure to smash that like button, and as always, thanks for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.